How you doing? My name is Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey. I decided to make this video because we have two bikes that came in the same week with the same complaint. They were done by a local shop, and the mistake wasn't really install related, it was more sales related. They both had the same complaint that they had 6x9s installed in their factory lids, and now there's a ton of water getting in the bags. So we went over the install, and then in order to do a decent 6x9 like the M-Mats or the Hertz, which have a pretty big magnet, into a factory, it's not that easy, it's not that straightforward. And on top of that, people don't realize that from factory Harley, it's a 5x7 that comes in the lid. So you can't really just grab a 5x7 and throw it in there. And the other problem is 5x7s do not provide a ton of output, especially when you have aftermarket exhaust. This is a high quality Phoenix Gold 5x7 that would fit directly into the factory Harley lid. This is a factory Harley lid. If you see how small the opening is, 5x7 is designed to go in there. And even the 5x7, a lot of the cone area is blocked by the small grill. But 5x7 is what's designed to go in there. It sits in there nice and flush. You notice it doesn't protrude past the bottom of the lid, doesn't take up any of your bag space. That's what comes in from Harley. So even if you want to make it sound better, by taking the factory Harley 5x7 out and replacing it, the reason that's going to cause issues is a factory weatherproof speaker like the Harley one has the center pole, the tweeter hole, sealed so water doesn't pass through. So if you were to switch to a speaker like this is a regular car speaker. It's not designed to get wet, so it would sound better, but when it rains, water would get through here, drip through the bottom, and then drip into your bag. So I'm not a big fan of marine speakers. I don't think they sound that great. It's my personal opinion, but we do carry them. We carry the entire Hertz line, because if you look at these speakers, the grill doesn't even come off the speaker because everything is sealed together. If you look inside there on a standard coaxial, the tweeter normally sits on the tweeter pole, and there's normally a hole in the inside of the 6.5 or the middle, whatever size speaker it is. On this one, to prevent water from getting in there, I don't know if you could see it, but that's a standard cone, and the cone is plastic. There is no way to water get in there. Then the speaker is completely sealed to the edge. So if water was to get on the tweeter itself, has its own plastic container in there. So if water was to get on here, once you open the lid, the water would run off. Speaker's completely sealed. Nothing's going to drip through the speaker into the bag. So if you insist on replacing the speaker and you want something that's going to fit and seal like factory, you'd have to go with a marine grade 5x7 if you want to drop it into the factory Harley bags. Now the second problem is they do make adapters. Both these bikes came in with the adapters. I'm not a big fan of the adapters, so the adapter screws in. So you notice there where it's got the two screw holes, lines up the screw holes in there. The problem is you are shoehorning all that cone area into here, then outputting it through there. You're blocking off a bunch of the mid bass, gonna sit there and rattle the lid. But if that's what the customer wants to do, I guess that's what you have to do. The other problem is that speaker sticks out way past where the factory one is. And this is not a marine grade speaker, so water is going to go through the grill, collect in here, run down the pole, and out the back of the speaker, and you're going to get water in the bag. The other problem is when you do this, in order to pass I'll show you on this bike, in order to get past the factory lock assembly, and that allows you to latch the lid, you have to trim all of that out. When you trim it, if you use a marine 6x9, you would have to seal the side back up to make sure that none of the water made it past the side. That was the issue with this. With this bike, the issue was that the water was running through the 6x9 into the bag. It was actually not that it was improperly installed. It was installed properly. They used this, they mounted the speaker to this. There were no gaps. The water was running through the speaker, coming out the back of the speaker and filling up the bag because they didn't use a marine rated 6x9. What we did was we ordered a set of 6x9 lids. So I understand it's more costly because you have to buy new lids and get them painted, but keep your factory Harley lid at home with your factory Harley speaker. Order a new lid, my opinion. for a 6-mine. That way you don't have to use an adapter that way. I'm gonna go over there and show you. So now the opening is much bigger. The speaker sits closer to the top of the lid because it's designed for a 6-mine. So you don't have to, this adapter takes up at least 3 inches plus the size of the speaker on top of it. So if we can eliminate this and bolt directly to the lid, you end up with a much more flush, and then you don't have all this restriction since the grill's a little bit bigger, since it's designed for a 6-mine, you get all the sound out. So I'm gonna show you that first. Then I'm gonna show you this one that we already fixed one. This one we're going with 8-inch lids, and then we're also gonna show you the Rockford option too. So these are the lids that were on there with the 5x7 hole. These are the Hogtunes lids that we installed. Now you can see the entire 6x9 through the lid. There is no restriction in sound. The sound's gonna come completely out. And since we replaced it, you can tell it's color matched. Since we replaced the lid, there is no adapter. So now the speaker sits up nice and tight. See that? There's no cutting required. It bolts right. And then it comes with this little insert that's waterproof, and it keeps all the water out. You can see, you can't see any sunlight through there. So this is the way we choose to do it at the shop. Works out a lot better. Now I'm gonna take you over to the other bike. See, these are factory Harley lids. Now there's the adapter, but they had to cut it in order to clear the cable so the bag would still lock. You can see that there's a gap, and you could see light through there, so water is definitely 100% getting in. Plus, since I had to use an adapter, look how far down that 6-mine sits. So I convinced the customer to go with some crazy 8 lids, so we're pulling all this out, we're switching the lid. He's gonna keep his factory Harley lid. He's gonna put the 5x7 back in that and put it away. And then we're gonna do some twisted 8 lids, so it's gonna do an 8-inch and a tweeter. I'll post that after it's done. Speaker and the lids, we did the Rockford kit on this one, and we actually cut them in. So the lids came like this. We actually cut them out here. Rockford makes a template that comes with the speaker. So it's a high quality kit, 100% waterproof. Comes with a gasket around here, and then it hides the cut line. Now look at the fit and finish of that kit. There is no cutting. It's 100% water resistant. There's a foam gasket that goes here. It doesn't interfere with the locking mechanism at all. If you insist on doing 6-mines in the lids, I recommend that you don't chop up your Harley lids if you came 5x7. I recommend you get yourself a set of stock lids and go with the Rockford kit, or just change the lids completely and go with the Hogtune lid kit, which is what we did on the other bike. That's those right there. So those are our recommendations. Everything we do for a reason. See, the fit and finish on that is really, really good. And you have no water issues. We do what we do for a reason. I hope this helps.